Welcome in to the Fun Astrology Podcast for Thursday, the 8th of February. That means we're just 2 days away from the practicum, and you've heard the announcement, and we'll be putting all the information on funastrology.com. Hi, Thomas Miller in here. Thanks for joining us. Let's take a quick look at today's sky. We have a phenomenon with the moon going on today, and it's under the context of what we talked about yesterday, which is still fundamentally in place. Venus and Uranus are at 19 degrees in their respective earth signs. Venus in Capricorn, Uranus in Taurus. They are still in that trine aspect, although Venus will move into 20 degrees. It's pulling away, and it will move pretty quickly, but they're still both at 19 degrees as we're beginning the day. I mentioned the relationship side of Venus yesterday. Of course, the money side is there as well. If some big money surprise came to you, and I'm saying that facetiously because I've just experienced this in my own life, wow, yeah, it was in the applying phase of that. It crescendoed yesterday. We are on the backside of it, but that could also be a possibility as well. But the phenomenon of the day is related to the moon. So right now, as we're getting up, the moon is in the very last degrees of Capricorn. It also is void of course early this morning. It went in a little bit, just a wee bit before 3 a.m. Eastern, and it enters Aquarius at 9 a.m. this morning Eastern. So that puts the moon in Aquarius for Friday's new moon, which happens at 6 p.m. Friday night. Actually, technically 5:59, and that's going to be important because literally on the new moon on Friday, right after that, or right on it, the moon goes void of course. Now, this can happen, but it's not usual. In fact, I don't even remember if I've seen it since we've been doing this podcast for coming up on 4 years. So let's go through this again. Right now, the moon is void of course in Capricorn. This morning at 9 a.m., it enters Aquarius. Tomorrow at 5:59 p.m. Eastern, it conjoins the sun, that's the new moon, and it goes void of course. That's the last aspect that creates the void of course. Now let's go back to the previous new moon. That was on January 11th. That happened at 6:57 a.m., and the moon didn't go void of course until 9:30 that night. So it really is an anomaly here. It's not the norm that you would have the sun-moon conjunction or the new moon as the last aspect before it goes void of course. But boy, we have it here, and it lends an interesting interpretation to this. So if new moons are the new beginning, and I'm waiting on a couple of things on Book of the Moon, but we're right there. But Steve Forrest makes it so clear, you so get the whole construct of the new moon being the new beginning. You don't want to create right into a void of course. So if you have a new moon process that you typically go through, that would be Friday night, but you don't want to do it Friday night. Wait until that void of course clears. That will be by 9 a.m. Eastern on Saturday. Then you'll have the moon in Pisces, very highly intuitive, very perceptive, very delusional if you're on the wrong side of it. But I would delay any kind of creating activity around this moon until, and I would make it well up into the day on Saturday, and we'll talk more about why on that tomorrow. So an unusual little phenomenon here, but one of note. So you could do a little bit of work going into the new moon. That would be final releases, just purging, releasing, getting rid of anything in your life that you could say, you know what, this weekend, boom, I'm going to release this. Or start the process of a new habit, 48 hours to switch gears on something in your life. Maybe something you have been doing that you'd rather not be doing, and you know that it takes 1 to 2 months to recondition that subconscious wiring in your brain. Well, start this weekend with that release. That's perfect. In fact, that's exactly how you'd want to play this new moon. Release things into it that you don't want to show back up. There's your void of course right there. And then Sunday, there are no direct aspects. So by noon and then the afternoon on Saturday into the evening and Sunday, then you've got a lot of really clear space to grow that seed that you want to plant. And then we must mention the other aspect in the sky today is at 5:45 this morning. Fortunately, it's early, so it will be separating probably by the time you hear this, that the sun squares Uranus. That's the Aquarian independent sun squaring the solidly grounded, as grounded as Uranus can be, Taurian Uranus. So if you've been experiencing some surprises here over the last little bit, here's another reason why. And even though it's a square, that doesn't always mean that it's challenging. It just means that these two are working together and they are shaking something up. And of course, we had the Venus trine that's still fresh from yesterday. And boy, both of these Uranus aspects I have sure experienced, and I can't wait to tell you all about it, but the hen is still sitting on the egg, so we have to wait. Just have to wait a little bit. That's what you do. All right. You guys have a wonderful, great Thursday. I'll see you back for TGI Friday tomorrow, and we'll set up the weekend. Love ya. Bye.